Alrighty, I'm Sue Pelletier. I'm a mixed media artist, and I'm here to do a DVD with cloth, paper, scissors. I'm going to start with my demo on gessos, and here we go. The first thing, and again I said I'm doing the bird, which I don't even want you to think about the bird. I want you to think about the materials. I have a stencil of a bird that I'm putting down on just a small canvas here, and taking white gesso. Now everybody knows sort of, what the white gesso does, but there are gray gessos, there are black gessos, and there is something called sludge that I'm in love with that I want to talk to you about. So with this guy, I just put it down on the white canvas, take the black gesso, which is right here, and I just quickly paint it around him, leaving the white space of the bird. So now what I would do is go in and paint with acrylic paint on the bird. I would also paint on the the black gesso, which I'm going to show you over here. On this one here, I did the bird, and I used a product that's fabulous called Texture Crackle Paint. Now this is mixed in with some gesso on my canvas, white gesso, and I took a sort of a flat little palette knife and dig into the crackle paint, and I apply it very, very thickly. And what happens with your painting is this is going to dry, as you can see in that spot there, very crackly. So when you do a wash over that, you're going to get a real, very cool technique. The other thing that I'm huge about with this gesso is I've got my black surface here and I've got my white surface here. So what I would do now is go into taking some very simple pencils and scratching into. So if I wanted to do some scratching into that black, you can see I'm even adding more texture to my painting. I could take a, tool such as, a thicker pencil, dig in, and you can see I'm getting some of the gesso underneath, but it's also, I'm getting texture on top from drawing into the gesso. I'm always scribbling into my art, I think because I work with kids so much, even though I tell them not to scribble, actually. Now, if I was to do the same onto this with the crackle paste, I would draw in and pull away, maybe do a little texture of lines back here. And you can see that you see underneath what your black gesso, how that pops. So let me show you a little bit, just a little bit. I'm not going to totally paint the birds in because, like I said, it's not about the birds. But I do want to show you the difference. So if I was going to do a little mixing, which I am totally not a purist when it comes to paint. A lot of these paints are cheap, inexpensive paints, and a lot are medium paints, and some are expensive paints. But I use all paints. As long as they're water-based, you're good. So look at me painting on the black gesso there, this little bird. You see the transparency of that black coming through? And oops. Again, you could go in and draw into that. Not by any means is this a completed painting, but if you start layering gessos and paints and scratch into it and let yourself play and explore. You will never want to copy anybody's bird. You will say, I'm going to do my own. I mean, that was like 2 seconds, but you see that, you know what I mean? It's just layering, pulling back, scribbling into the paint, scribbling into the gesso like over here. Now, let's do a little paint on the white gesso bird. And we'll sort of do the same colors, actually, because then you can see the difference with the black kind of popping through. So if I did a little, and again, I'm like using a lunch tray from the school that I work at as my palette board. I love these little drops that I got down there with the black gesso. I think, you know what? It just adds texture and character. I love the fact that the gesso's even going in that bird a little bit. I think that a lot of times with painting, because I know I've taught a bunch of classes, and I love the audience that takes my classes. I love the women that take my class. But my message to these women, you women, hopefully you're watching this, is make it your own. You know, if you want to make a painting that looks like Sue Pelletier's, it's not going to. Not for nothing, but you should be making your paintings that look like yours. So don't try to copy. So there's that little guy in there. Again, I would go in, scratch into it. Beautiful. So those are like that. Certainly not finished paintings. That's what I would call it, an underpainting for me right there. I would say, you know what? I'm going to let these dry. I'm going to come to my studio tomorrow. I'm going to look at them and I'm going to think, okay, cool. I got great texture there. I got great texture there. Now what am I going to do with it? So those are two little underpaintings. That was black gesso, that was white gesso, and that was that crackle paste, which you should run out tomorrow and buy because that's fabulous. Alrighty. Now I am going to show you just the simple white gesso with that same bird and a big brush. And I, you know, like I've been doing the video for two seconds and I have more paint on me than probably anybody. So the white gesso, slop it on, glob it on. I actually love the gray gesso more than the black gesso, just because as an underpainting, but definitely play with the black. You could write words, nest. You could go and do, I love doing this sort of squiggly line around them. Again, just easy underpainting. Go in with that with acrylic, let that dry, and you're good to go with that. Now I want to show you this product, which is Sludge, which I just found out about it. This product I bought from TriArt, and what it is, it's a totally green product. It's the actual waste of whoever makes the paint. It's the waste product that's left, so it's everything. It's they don't throw anything out. They take it, they mix it in vats, and they call it Sludge. And it's used as a gesso. It's used as a extender for your paint. I love it because it is a great color, first of all, and second of all, because it's very, very thick.